Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Start.
Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اقترب للناس حسابهم وهم في غفلة معرضون. ما يأتيهم من ذكر من ربهم محدث إلا استمعوه وهم يلعبون لاهية قلوبهم وأسروا النجوى الذين ظلموا هل هذا إلا بشر مثلكم أفتأتون السحر وأنتم تبصرون قال ربي يعلم القول في السماء والأرض وهو السميع العليم بل قالوا أضغاث أحلام بل افتراه بل هو شاعر فليأتنا بآية كما أرسل الأولون ما آمنت قبلهم من قرية أهلكناها أفهم يؤمنون وما أرسلنا قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون وما جعلناهم جسدا لا يأكلون الطعام وما كانوا خالدين ثم صدقناهم الوعد فأنجيناهم ومن نشاء وأهلكنا المسرفين لقد أنزلنا إليكم كتابا فيه ذكركم أفلا تعقلون وكم قصمنا من قرية كانت ظالمة وأنشأنا بعدها قوما آخرين فلما أحسوا بأسنا إذا هم منها يركضون لا تركضوا وارجعوا إلى ما أترفتم فيه ومساكنكم لعلكم تسألون قالوا يا ويلنا إنا كنا ظالمين فما زالت تلك دعواهم حتى جعلناهم حصيدا خامدين وما خلقنا السماء والأرض وما بينهما لاعبين لو أردنا أن نتخذ لهوا لاتخذناه من لدنا إن كنا فاعلين بل نقذف بالحق على الباطل فيدمغه فإذا هو زاهق ولكم الويل مما تصفون وله من في السماوات والأرض ومن عنده لا يستكبرون عن عبادته ولا يستحسرون يسبحون الليل والنهار لا يفترون أم اتخذوا آلهة من الأرض هم ينشرون أم اتخذوا آلهة من الأرض هم ينشرون لو كان فيها آلهة إلا الله لفسدتا فسبحان الله رب العرش عما يصفون لا يسأل عما يفعل وهم يسألون أم اتخذوا من دونه آلهة قل هاتوا برهانكم هذا ذكر من معي وذكر من قبلي بل أكثرهم لا يعلمون الحق فهم معرضون وما أرسلنا من قبلك من رسول إلا نوحي إليه وقالوا اتخذ الرحمن ولدا سبحانه بل عباد مكرمون لا يسبقونه بالقول وهم بأمره يعملون يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يشفعون إلا لمن ارتضى وهم من خشيته مشفقون ومن يقل منهم إني إله من دونه فذلك نجزيه جهنم كذلك نجزي الظالمين أولم ير الذين كفروا أن السماوات والأرض كانتا رتقا ففتقناهما وجعلنا من الماء كل شيء حي أفلا يؤمنون وجعلنا في الأرض رواسي أن تميد بهم وجعلنا فيها فجاجا سبلا لعلهم يهتدون وجعلنا السماء سقفا محفوظا وهم عن آياتها معرضون وهو الذي خلق الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر كل في فلك يسبحون وما جعلنا لبشر من قبلك الخلد أفإن مت فهم الخالدون كل نفس ذائقة الموت ونبلوكم بالشر والخير فتنة وإلينا ترجعون وإذا رآك الذين كفروا إن يتخذونك إلا هزوا أهذا الذي يذكر آلهتكم وهم بذكر الرحمن هم كافرون خلق الإنسان من عجل سأريكم آياتي فلا تستعجلون ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين لو يعلم الذين كفروا حين لا يكفون عن وجوههم النار ولا عن ظهورهم ولا هم ينصرون بل تأتيهم بغتة فتبهتهم فلا يستطيعون ردها ولا هم ينظرون ولقد استهزئ برسل من قبلك فحاق بالذين سخروا منهم ما كانوا به يستهزئون قل من يكلئكم بالليل والنهار من الرحمن بل هم عن ذكر ربهم معرضون أم لهم آلهة تمنعهم من دوننا لا يستطيعون نصر أنفسهم ولا هم منا يصحبون بل متعنا هؤلاء وآباءهم حتى طال عليهم العمر أفلا يرون أنا نأتي الأرض ننقصها من أطرافها أفهم الغالبون قل إنما أنذركم بالوحي ولا يسمع الصم الدعاء إذا ما ينظرون ولئن مستهم نفحة من عذاب ربك ليقولن يا ويلنا إنا كنا ظالمين ونضع الموازين القسط ليوم القيامة فلا تظلم نفس شيئا وإن كان مثقال حبة من خردل أتينا بها وكفى بنا حاسبين ولقد آتينا موسى وهارون الفرقان وضياء وذكرا للمتقين الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب وهم من الساعة مشفقون وهذا ذكر مبارك أنزلناه أفأنتم له منكرون ولقد آتينا إبراهيم رشده من قبل وكنا به عالمين إذ قال لأبيه وقومه ما هذه التماثيل التي أنتم لها عاكفون قالوا وجدنا آباءنا لها عابدين قال لقد كنتم أنتم وآباؤكم في ضلال مبين قالوا أجئتنا بالحق أم أنت من اللاعبين قال بل ربكم ورب السماوات والأرض الذي فطرهن وأنا على ذلكم من الشاهدين وتالله لأكيدن أصنامكم بعد أن تولوا مدبرين فجعلهم جذاذا إلا كبيرا لهم لعلهم إليه يرجعون قالوا من فعل هذا بآلهتنا إنه لمن الظالمين قالوا سمعنا فتى يذكرهم يقال له إبراهيم قالوا فأتوا به على أعين الناس لعلهم يشهدون قالوا أأنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا يا إبراهيم قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا فاسألوهم إن كانوا ينطقون فرجعوا إلى أنفسهم فقالوا إنكم أنتم الظالمون ثم نكسوا على رؤوسهم لقد علمت ما هؤلاء ينطقون قال أفتعبدون من دون الله ما لا ينفعكم شيئا ولا يضركم أف لكم ولما تعبدون من دون الله أفلا تعقلون قالوا حرقوه وانصروا آلهتكم إن كنتم فاعلين قلنا يا نار كوني بردا وسلاما على إبراهيم وأرادوا به كيدا فجعلناهم الأخسرين ونجيناه ولوطا إلى الأرض التي باركنا فيها للعالمين ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب نافلة وكلا جعلنا صالحين وجعلناهم أئمة يهدون بأمرنا وأوحينا إليهم فعل الخيرات وإقام الصلاة وإيتاء الزكاة وكانوا لنا عابدين ولوطا آتيناه حكما وعلما ونجيناه من القرية التي كانت تعمل الخبائث إنهم كانوا قوم سوء فاسقين وأدخلناه في رحمتنا إنه من الصالحين ونوحا إذ نادى من قبل فاستجبنا له فنجيناه وأهله من الكرب العظيم ونصرناه من القوم الذين كذبوا بآياتنا إنهم كانوا قوم سوء فأغرقناهم أجمعين. وداود وسليمان إذ يحكمان في الحرث إذ نفشت فيه غنم القوم وكنا لحكمهم شاهدين ففهمناها سليمان وكلا آتينا حكما وعلما وسخرنا مع داود الجبال يسبحن والطير وكنا فاعلين وعلمناه صنعة لبوس لكم لتحصنكم من بأسكم فهل أنتم شاكرون. ولسليمان الريح عاصفة تجري بأمره إلى الأرض التي باركنا فيها وكنا بكل شيء عالمين. ومن الشياطين من يغوصون له ويعملون عملا دون ذلك وكنا لهم حافظين. وأيوب إذ نادى ربه أني مسني الضر وأنت أرحم الراحمين فاستجبنا له فكشفنا ما به من ضر وآتيناه أهله ومثلهم رحمة من عندنا وذكرى للعابدين. وإسماعيل وإدريس وذا الكفل كل من الصابرين وأدخلناهم في رحمتنا إنهم من الصالحين. وذا النون إذ ذهب مغاضبا فظن أن لن نقدر عليه فنادى في الظلمات أن لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. فاستجبنا له ونجيناه من الغم وكذلك ننجي المؤمنين. وزكريا إذ نادى ربه ربي لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين فاستجبنا له ووهبنا له يحيى وأصلحنا له زوجه إنهم كانوا يسارعون في الخيرات ويدعوننا رغبا ورهبا وكانوا لنا خاشعين. والتي أحصنت فرجها فنفخنا فيها من روحنا وجعلناها وابنها آية للعالمين. إن هذه أمتكم أمة واحدة وأنا ربكم فاعبدون. وتقطعوا أمرهم بينهم كل إلينا راجعون. فمن يعمل من الصالحات وهو مؤمن فلا كفران لسعيه وإنا له كاتبون. وحرام على قرية أهلكناها أنهم لا يرجعون حتى إذا فتحت يأجوج ومأجوج وهم من كل حدب ينسلون. واقترب الوعد الحق فإذا هي شاخصة أبصار الذين كفروا يا ويلنا قد كنا في غفلة من هذا بل كنا ظالمين. إنكم وما تعبدون من دون الله حصب جهنم أنتم لها واردون. إنكم وما تعبدون من دون الله حصب جهنم أنتم لها واردون لو كان هؤلاء آلهة ما وردوها وكل فيها خالدون لهم فيها زفير وهم فيها لا يسمعون إن الذين سبقت لهم منا الحسنى أولئك عنها مبعدون لا يسمعون حسيسها وهم فيما اشتهت أنفسهم خالدون لا يحزنهم الفزع الأكبر وتتلقاهم الملائكة هذا يومكم الذي كنتم توعدون يوم نطوي السماء كطي السجل للكتب كما بدأنا أول خلق نعيده وعدا علينا إنا كنا فاعلين ولقد كتبنا في الزبور من بعد الذكر أن الأرض يرثها عبادي الصالحون إن في هذا لبلاغا لقوم عابدين وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين قل إنما يوحى إلي أنما إلهكم إله واحد فهل أنتم مسلمون فإن تولوا فقل آذنتكم على سواء وإن أدري أقريب أم بعيد ما توعدون إنه يعلم الجهر من القول ويعلم ما تكتمون وإن أدري لعله فتنة لكم ومتاع إلى حين قال رب احكم بالحق وربنا الرحمن المستعان على ما تصفون اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد ومن الناس من يجادل في الله بغير علم ويتبع كل شيطان مريد كتب عليه أنه من تولاه فإنه يضله ويهديه إلى عذاب السعير يا أيها الناس إن كنتم في ريب من البعث فإنا خلقناكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من مضغة مخلقة وغير مخلقة لنبين لكم ونقر في الأرحام ما نشاء إلى أجل مسمى ثم نخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ومنكم من يتوفى ومنكم من يرد إلى أرذل العمر لكي لا يعلم من بعد علم شيئا وترى الأرض هامدة فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت فإذا أنزلنا عليها الماء اهتزت وربت وأنبتت من كل زوج بهيج ذلك بأن الله هو الحق وأنه يحيي الموتى وأنه على كل شيء قدير وأن الساعة آتية لا ريب فيها وأن الله يبعث من في القبور ومن الناس من يجادل في الله بغير علم ولا هدى ولا كتاب منير ثاني عطفه ليضل عن سبيل الله له في الدنيا خزي ونذيقه يوم القيامة عذاب الحريق ذلك بما قدمت يداك وأن الله ليس بظلام للعبيد ومن الناس من يعبد الله على حرف فإن أصابه خير اطمأن به وإن أصابته فتنة انقلب على وجهه خسر الدنيا والآخرة ذلك هو الخسران المبين يدعو من دون الله ما لا يضره وما لا ينفعه ذلك هو الضلال البعيد يدعو لمن ضره أقرب من نفعه لبئس المولى ولبئس العشير إن الله يدخل الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار إن الله يفعل ما يريد من كان يظن أن لن ينصره الله في الدنيا والآخرة فليمدد بسبب إلى السماء ثم ليقطع فلينظر هل يذهبن كيده ما يغيظ وكذلك أنزلناه آيات بينات وأن الله يهدي من يريد إن الذين آمنوا والذين هادوا والصابئين والنصارى والمجوس والذين أشركوا إن الله يفصل بينهم يوم القيامة إن الله على كل شيء شهيد ألم تر أن الله يسجد له من في السماوات ومن في الأرض والشمس والقمر والنجوم والجبال والشجر والدواب وكثير حق عليه العذاب ومن يهن الله فما له من مكرم إن الله يفعل ما يشاء هذان خصمان اختصموا في ربهم فالذين كفروا قطعت لهم ثياب من نار يصب من فوق رؤوسهم الحميم يصهر به ما في بطونهم والجلود ولهم مقامع من حديد كلما أرادوا أن يخرجوا منها من غم أعيدوا فيها وذوقوا عذاب الحريق إن الله يدخل الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار يحلون فيها من أساور من ذهب ولؤلؤا ولباسهم فيها حرير وهدوا إلى الطيب من القول وهدوا إلى صراط الحميد إن الذين كفروا ويصدون عن سبيل الله والمسجد الحرام الذي جعلناه للناس سواء العاكف فيه والباد ومن يرد فيه بإلحاد بظلم نذقه من عذاب أليم وإذ بوأنا لإبراهيم مكان البيت ألا تشرك بي شيئا وطهر بيتي للطائفين والقائمين والركع السجود وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر يأتين من كل فج عميق
اللهم صل على محمد.
الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآله.
طيب الله.
Ahsan, Brother Ismail. Jazakallah for the recitation.
Thank you.
Now, viewers, I would like to welcome Maulana Muhammad Baig. He has joined us online, and inshallah, he will be continuing with the rest of the Ramadan programs till the end of the Ramadan. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, I can hear you loud and clear as well. So, without further ado, Maulana, I will let you continue.
Very well. Let's all recite a Surah Fatiha for all the Marhumeen and the Shuhada of Islam. My teeth. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ومولانا أبي القاسم محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين سيما بقية الله الأعظم روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Thank you for joining us, everyone. Today's topic is going to be Hadith al-Kitha, explained and highlighted. Hadith al-Kitha is a hadith that most of us are used to reading. Even the children amongst us know this hadith because we read it every Thursday or on every happy, joyous, and auspicious occasion. This hadith, we read it for many reasons. Some people read it for thawab, or to be recited on happy occasions to glorify the gathering with the dhikr of Ahlul Bayt. Some people read it to ward off evil or calamities, destructions, or anything that has to do with something bad. It wards it off. And all these reasons are true. But when we actually look into what Hadith al-Qissa is, it has a lot more deeper relevance than just being read for reward or to ward off evil. Hadith al-Qissa is a very focal point and a key hadith in regard to how Islam has been protected and what Allah has done to protect Islam. Let's go back and get a backdrop as to what happened in the past so that we can look at the past and see what exactly this hadith kisa means. So let me give you the backdrop of this whole scenario. Allah sent Islam through the Prophet. Rasulullah brought Islam and spread it amongst the people. People accepted Islam, and now the issue was, after Islam became this revolution and became this movement, the issue was, how do you safeguard it? What do you do in order to protect a movement? Any revolution, any movement is in danger of being lost, broken down, annihilated, destroyed, or getting off its true path. No matter if it's Islamic or if it's non-Islamic. If you look at any revolutions in the world, in history of man, any movements that occurred, whether they are religious or they are non-religious, they are in danger of being broken down or being lost. And let me go through some of these dangers so that we can pinpoint the dangers that lurk in the path of every movement and every revolution. And then we will apply that to the Islamic revolution, that is the revolution of the Prophet, and Islam that was sent by Allah. So when we look at that, we will be better able to see the dangers that are in the path of Islam and how did Allah make the arrangements to protect it. So when we look at it, the first danger that happens to any movement is when the people deviate from the true leadership. Whatever leadership is appointed in that movement, it has a certain credibility, it has a certain ideology and a belief and a path. When people deviate from that, that is a danger to the movement, because it literally says that that movement is finished and now something else has been started. And this was also a danger for Islam, because there is a leadership that's appointed, that's been declared, and now there's a danger of losing that leadership and people deviating from that and going to another leadership. That's one danger. Second danger is the formation of new ideas that would cause confusion amongst the people. Every movement, every revolution within itself will start producing these new ideas that come up. Now, some of these ideas are useful and helpful and enhance the movement, but most of these ideas are going to be harmful. And they are innovations that, if let go, would destroy the movement and take it off its path. Such ideas create confusion amongst people, and when people are confused, then the movement starts losing its power and its motivation, eventually collapsing. The third danger that exists in any movement that happens is that rumors and speculations start. People start creating rumors, speculating about things. As soon as they learn something, a rule or a law, they try to see whether if this goes this way or this goes that way, and rumors now start to go around amongst the people. Speculations appear which poison the environment. And when the environment is poisoned, now no one knows what to believe in, what to accept. For example, when you see the hadith of the Prophet, which is the basis of Islam, if you see people start to create hadith, fabricate hadith, make hadith themselves, lie. So obviously those false hadiths, when heard by new people of Islam, they will look at it as authentic. If I, for example, was a Muslim, and if I go to people who just became Muslim and start telling them things out of my own self, saying that this is from Rasulullah, and I heard it from Rasulullah, the new Muslims are going to accept what I'm saying. They won't have any reason not to accept, knowing that I'm a Muslim, and they would assume that I'm saying the truth. So these things slowly began to poison the environment. And when people find out that they were false, now they don't know who to accept things from or what to expect. And the whole environment becomes poisoned. Now you see how a movement can die away. So that was also a danger for Islam. Number three. Number four, movements throughout history have been destroyed because of power struggle within the people who are there. Usually what happens is that the people who are involved, they all have a claim because of the sacrifices they made and the support that they gave to the movement. They all have a claim that, hey, I should be the leader. I have a claim and I have a greater share of what I should get from this because I gave more. Look at throughout the world, you will see any revolution that happened, any independence that happened, any movement that happens, you'll see people who are involved in it will claim that, listen, I have been involved in this for a longer time, so I should be the leader. And once these power struggles they start, then people start getting divided, their allegiances start getting divided, and as a whole, the whole movement starts to weaken and eventually will lead to conflict within and destruction. Because now, instead of trying to plan to grow this movement, everyone is trying to fight for their own share and weaken the other parties. Politics start, and that's how you see every movement, every masjid goes down the drain. Number five, family feuds. If a family is in charge of a movement, or you see that they are at the lead, then what happens is that as soon as they start fighting each other, then people using the family take sides. It's very important that the people who are close to the leadership, family of the leadership, if they start fighting each other, then it gives validation for people to take the side of that family. For example, if the wife of the prophet and the brother of the prophet fight with each other, then there will be some people who will be saying, hey, she's the wife, he's the brother, and this is how people start to be divided because they have a valid point that both of these people are holy. Or sometimes they don't even get involved and they stop caring, like the people of Kufa did under Abu Musa Ashari. He said, we don't want to get involved in this conflict because on one side you have the wife of the prophet, on the other side you have the brother of the prophet, and we respect them both. And they didn't want to get involved. So now what happened? The true leadership is going to lose its adherence and people are going to leave it, eventually finishing off the movement. Number six, a movement also is destroyed when people forget the founders, the people who actually founded the movement. Because these founders, they had a vision, they had a plan, they had principles, and this whole movement began on those principles, began on those foundations that they had set. If people are going to forget the founders and the foundations that they established this movement, then eventually people are going to go off on their own. The movement will be left behind. It will be now a different movement altogether. For example, it will now become a movement called Ahmadiyya movement or Baha'is or Wahhabis. All these movements left the basis in the principles of the founder and the founding principles of this movement. And once you leave it, then you just create a whole different movement. It's not has nothing to do with the original movement at all. So All of these things. And lastly is civil war. Civil war is when people are going to fight each other, and that civil war starts off by having different leaderships, not even knowing where the leadership is. And once you don't know where the leadership is, then everyone has a claim to a leadership, and everyone creates factions, and these factions start to fight for power now. Now, the movement is more about who has power and authority. Whoever has the might has the right, and that attitude prevails and creates a civil war by which the original idea of the movement is finished, the community is divided. Now they all go on their own way. So these are dangers that I mentioned to you, 7 of them. There's foreign interference also, but they use these sort of factions and divisions amongst Muslims. So let's say 8. 8 dangers that exist within a movement that could destroy the movement, that could take the movement off of its true path and take it away from the original spirit and basis that it was started on and make it into a whole different thing that's not real. This can happen to any movement. Now when we go back to Islam, we see that when Islam came, it was a revolution. It revolutionized the people, brought them to Islam, to the faith of Allah, and made them practice the law of Allah. And then that movement was started. It was termed a movement by the Prophet. It was a actual movement that is going to go on until the day of judgment. So this movement that is started and revolution that has occurred, if we know about the dangers that are lurking in the future of this movement, if we who are not so intelligent and not so bright, and we only have a limited amount of knowledge and awareness, if we know that this might happen and there are dangers in the future of this movement, hypothetical question, then is it possible that Allah does not know? As I said, it's a hypothetical question. It's not real because we know the answer. Is it possible, I'm saying, that Allah didn't know, or that Rasulullah did not know what was going to happen, or the dangers that are in the future of this movement? Obviously, they did. Is it possible that Allah did not care what would happen to his movement? What would happen to his religion? I just finished the religion. It's been given to the people. Now they can do whatever they want with it. If they throw it in the garbage, that's their problem. Is that how Allah dealt with this? Do you think that is Allah? And we know the answer. I'm just giving a hypothetical question to drive in the point. And the point being that Allah is the most knowledgeable, the most aware, the most wise, the most caring, the most compassionate, the most powerful. And with that character that Allah has, there is no way that he would not make but a comprehensive program to defend his deen. Allah says, we have revealed the Quran, وَإِنَّا نَحْنُ لَهُ لَحَافِظُونَ. We are the protectors. We will protect it. If we have revealed it, we will protect it also. And hence, Allah is the protector of his deen. Allah is the one who looks after his deen. Rasulullah is the one who cares about Allah's deen the more than anyone else. No one can claim to have cared about Allah's deen and the protection of Allah's deen more than Rasulullah. And so if Allah and Rasulullah, who are the basis of the movement and the initiator of this movement, then they must have made a plan to protect Islam from any sort of deviation, from any sort of going away or making deen go astray or the people go astray or civil war, any of these things. They must have made the protection. We need to see Allah's plan. We need to see what Allah planned. So in Allah's plan and the Prophet's plan, they wanted to establish a leadership. They wanted to establish a leadership that is going to continue. the movement that is going to continue this movement. So that leadership obviously must have certain conditions. If Allah is going to appoint a leader after the Prophet, if Rasulullah is going to appoint a leader after the Prophet, it must have certain conditions. 4 conditions I wrote down here, which are essential for anyone who wants to take the place of the Prophet and anyone that the Prophet wants to give. There are others also, but I'm giving these 4 because they're essential. Number 1, that anyone who's going to be appointed must be infallible. They must be infallible. Number 1. You can't have someone who's not infallible, someone who makes mistakes, does wrong, errs, forgets, is careless. So obviously a person like that cannot take the place of the Prophet. You need someone who cannot be wrong and who cannot make errors. Why? Because then their errors become Islam, because they represent Allah. If they represent Allah and if they do something wrong, then that wrong becomes Islam. How would we know that they are not wrong? How would we know that? We are learning Allah's deen through them. And if they make a mistake, then that mistake becomes deen. And Allah is greater than that to allow someone to be his representative who's going to make mistakes and then destroy the whole message and the trust of that message. So the first principle and condition for anyone that Rasulullah is going to appoint has to be infallibility. Number 2 is that they must also be foremost in Islam, meaning they shouldn't be someone who came later on in the movement. They should be someone who have been there since the beginning, since day 1, preferably. And if not, maybe someone dies, in the way, but someone who is from the early days. Why? Because they know more about the movement, the ups and downs and the principles and what this movement stands for than the ones who came later, who are still learning. Because the ones who come later are referring to the ones who came before as to what does Allah say here? What does happen here? And this is why that trust needs to be there of someone who's been there from day 1. And that's why if Rasulullah wants to appoint anyone, he must have been with him before anyone else, and he must have stood with Rasulullah before anyone stood with Rasulullah. So that's number 2. Number 3, that leadership must be aware, more aware of all the circumstances regarding the movement and the revolution than everyone else. He must be aware of everything. And that's why, for example, in the case of Rasulullah, we see you have Imam Ali, who always said that I know every ayat more than anyone else. Every ayat, I know where that ayat came, whether it came in the summer or it came in the winter, whether it came at day, it came at night, in the masjid or the battlefield. Wherever that ayat came, I was a witness to that ayat. I was present there. No one else can claim that. So, and number 4, that person, whoever Allah is going to appoint, must be similar in characteristics, in attributes, in morality, in moral values, in every regard as the Prophet. He must be similar to him. If he's not similar to him, then the movement goes downhill. Meaning if Rasulullah was at 100 and this person is at 60, there's a huge cliff that right away the movement went down because the morals of the leadership has gone down 40%. That can't be the case. Someone who's going to take the place of the Prophet must be at his level in faith, in knowledge, in awareness, in taqwa, in piety, in belief in Allah. They must be equal to the Prophet. So now, this is the backdrop that I set for you as to what happened. Islam came as a revolution and a movement. Allah needs to protect this movement from all sorts of deviation, from all sorts of harms that might come to it in the future. So now Allah needs to do that in a very emphatic way. so that the people know the answer that Allah is giving, and everyone knows the solution that Allah is offering to everyone to protect his religion and the movement that is started by the Prophet, and that is known as Islam. And here is where we come to Hadith-e-Qissa. Hadith-e-Qissa, my friends, is that one setting that was so crucial. And I'll tell you why it's crucial. And I'll tell you the importance of this hadith that came down as the solution of Allah to the protection of Islam from any sort of deviation, innovation, going astray, and every harm that could come to Islam. Allah saved it through this hadith, through this setting known as Hadith-e-Qissa. Let's go into a little bit about Hadith-e-Qissa itself. Hadith-e-Qissa, the word Qissa means aba, like the aba that I'm wearing. This aba that you see is called iba. It's like anything that is wrapped around the shoulders, that people used to wrap around the shoulders, is called an aba or Qissa. So now, the Hadith-e-Qissa is because of the Qissa of the Prophet. He had a one particular Qissa or aba that was from a place around Khaybar, and it was black in color. Now, when it comes to Hadith-e-Qissa, there's a lot of versions of it. So I'm not going to go into that, but the fact that we have so many versions of it is the fact that there are so many versions of it shows that if there are so many narrators behind it. Meaning, if you look at it, this hadith has been narrated by, this one has come in over 100 Sunni books of the highest level. 100 Sunni books, and ulama have narrated this hadith from different sources. In Shia books, it's abundant, and we see that. We already know that. But in Sunni books, I'm saying, it has been narrated so many times. Because this hadith was not something that was done in private. It was done in the middle of everyone. It was done in public view, meaning all the people around, they saw it, they witnessed it, they related that to others as to what was said, the ayat that came down. Everyone knew about it. So this hadith has been mentioned to such an extent that you can't even just call it sahih. This has a golden chain. So many chains of narrators of this hadith that you can't even deny it being correct or incorrect. So this hadith is strong, and it's in so many places. Now there are different versions of it, meaning there's some details, some that are less. The ones that people read usually is like an extended version of that hadith. That is not found in a lot of places. But what is found in a lot of places is the crux of the whole, the core of that message. The core of the message is there, which I'm going to explain right now what that core of that message is in Hadith-e-Qissa, because that is the important aspect of it. Now, in many versions, it is said that Rasulullah was in the room of Salma. Now, the house of the Prophet was divided by rooms. Each room belonged to a wife, and the room was known by the wife, the room of Salma or the room of so-and-so. So now, when on that morning, it was a morning and the time for du'as to be accepted, Rasulullah has said to Salma that go, hurry up and call Fatima, Ali, Hassan, and Hussein right away. Call them. Now, a lot of you know that the hadith that you read, that we read all the time, is the one that Rasulullah went to the house of Fatima, but most versions have it that it was in the house of Salma, which seems to be correct, because that's where Rasulullah would want to have given this message, because then all the wives would be there to witness it and to know it, and then it could be related to others also. If it happened in the house of Fatima, then it wouldn't be that known. It would be private. Maybe it happened at another time there, but the version that is known in many of the books is the one that happened in the house of Salama. The meaning is the same. So now when we go to this, we see that Salama went, invited Bibi Fatima, Imam Ali, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein. They came to the Prophet. Rasulullah asked them to get inside the Abba. He laid this Abba, the cloak, above them, covered them, covered five of them. Now this was strange for everyone to see this, because something that Rasulullah has never done before. It was something that you would look at Rasulullah and, okay, this is strange. Why are you doing this? So Rasulullah put this cover on, and as he put this cover on, now everyone got attracted as to what's going on, because we have Fatima, Ali, Hassan, Hussein coming in the house, and all the wives now are interested, and they're all like listening. And so at that point, when everyone gathered inside the cloak, five of them, then Rasulullah started to talk with Allah loudly so that everyone can listen. He says, Allahumma inna haulai ahl bayti. He says, oh Allah, these are my Ahlul Bayt. Wa khassati, they are my special people. Wa hamati, they are my true supporters. Lahmahum lahmi, their flesh is my flesh. He is now creating a bond between them, that these people are close to me, related to me, are kin to me, they are family to me. In fact, more than that, in terms of everything. So let me go on and translate this. Lahmahum lahmi, their flesh is my flesh. Damahum dami, their blood is my blood. Yu'limuni ma yu'limuhum, whoever hurts them has hurt me. Wa yahzunani ma yahzunuhum, whoever has saddened them has saddened me. Ana harbun liman harabahum, I am at war with anyone who goes to war with them. Wasilmun liman salamahum, I am at peace with anyone who has made peace with them. Wa aduwan liman adahum, I am an enemy of anyone who has made an enemy of them. Wa muhibbun liman ahabbahum, and I am a lover of anyone who has loved them. Innahum minni, they are from me. Wa ana minhum, I am from them. Meaning there's no difference between me and them. There's no difference at all between me and them in every regard. Faj'al salawataka wa barakataka wa rahmataka wa ghufranaka wa ridwanaka alayya wa alayhim. And Allah, send your salawat, send your blessings, send your mercy, your forgiveness, your pleasure on me and on them. In other words, both of us are going to be blessed by you, both of us are going to be forgiven by you, and both of us will have all the qualities in the same way from you. And then this is what Rasulullah asked Allah for. Rasulullah asked Allah, he says, وَضْهَبْ أَنْهُمُ الرِّجْسَ وَطَهِّرُهُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. Allah, drive away from them every sort of impurity, of wrong, of corruption, of sin, of doubt, of hesitation, of uncertainty, anything that could be a fault, drive it away from them and give them a thorough purifying. This is the dua that Rasulullah made. This is what he asked. This is what he supplicated. And as Rasulullah supplicated this, right away, without hesitation, this ayat was revealed. The ayat which is known as Ayat-e-Tathir in Surah Ahzab, Surah number 33, ayat number 33. Remember it that way, 33, 33. That is the ayat which is known as Ayat-e-Tathir was revealed, and in that Allah right away replied to him and said, إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمُ الرِّجْسَ أَهْلَ الْبَيْتِ وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. Beautiful. Right away, without any hesitation, Allah replied back and said, Allah's only intention is, meaning the only intention Allah has in regards to Ahlul Bayt is that He has driven away every sort of impurity and sin and doubt from them, and He has given them a thorough purification. In other words, from now, everyone who is listening to this hadith and to this ayat and reads this ayat should know that everyone who is known as Ahlul Bayt, they are free from sin, they are free from doubt, they are free from every sort of fault. Anyone who claims that they have faults, they have to deal with Allah, because Allah is saying, if I have cleansed them, who dares say that they do not have or they have an impurity? Allah stops it there. He just gives that ayat and clears this message for us. Now, my friends, I brought you till here, till this hadith came down. Now, this is the hadith that exists everywhere. The question of Rasulullah, the answer of Allah. That's it. The extended version of the hadith goes into the details of Jibreel and the conversation in heavens. That is all there, but the crux of the hadith is right here. That's all hadith qissa is. Hadith qissa is Rasulullah gathering these five under the mantle, under the cloak, and asking Allah that, Allah, these are Ahlul Bayt, and I want you to announce that they are free from every sin and every doubt. And Allah announced it in the Quran in front of all those people who were there. No one else could be there except for Ahlul Bayt. Now, what was the reason for this setting to take place? You see, my friends, understand this. What Rasulullah is doing is creating a distinction in a very descriptive manner so that no one can doubt, and no one should have any sort of doubt as to the future of Islam and where everyone needs to go for the future of Islam. No one should have a doubt as to who Ahlul Bayt are. You see, it's like this. When you go to a masjid, you see all the walls in the masjid? All the walls are the same except for one. There's one wall that has a mihrab, that has a design on it, that has a niche, a prayer niche. And you say that, what is this wall? Why is it different than the other walls? So because this wall faces the Qibla, it's special. It is special because it faces the Qibla. So you do something to that wall in order to make it distinct, in order to make it different from all the rest. This is exactly what Rasulullah has done in the setting of this hadith. What he did is that he put the mantle on these five and said, Ha'ulahi Ahl Bayti, these are my Ahlul Bayt, so that everyone else who's there should know that no one else is them, and they are not anyone else. Meaning that there's a difference between these five and the rest. The rest, all the rest, no matter where they are different than these five. No one else can be Ahlul Bayt. No one else can fall under this category. Salma, who was watching this, asked Rasulullah, can I join? She asked him, can I join also? And Rasulullah said, you are good, but no, you cannot join. This is not for you. This is special. This group is special. This is Allah's plan. You're not a part of Allah's plan. You're a good person. Heaven is there for you, but you are not a part of Allah's plan. My friends, this was announced clearly so that everyone in the world should know who Ahlul Bayt are. Exactly. So no one confuses that the wives might be Ahlul Bayt also. I'm sorry. This ayat was revealed in Surah Ahzab when Allah is speaking about the wives of the Prophet. But everywhere Allah speaks about the wives of the Prophet, He uses the feminine pronoun to say them in the femmes all feminine. But when it comes to this part only, he uses the masculine pronoun to denote that this ayat is different. It doesn't belong in that category. Just like this ayat doesn't belong with the rest of the ayat, just like these five do not belong with the wives also. The wives can be good people, but they cannot be Ahlul Bayt. And anyone who doubts that truly does not understand what this hadith and what this setting is. Rasulullah did this to differentiate Ahlul Bayt. Why? Because the future of Islam depends on this. The future of Islam depends on this. When we go through all the things that Ahlul Bayt have done, and you'll see this, all the things that they have done, everything that could harm the movement, Ahlul Bayt would be there to protect it. I said 8 things harm a movement. Let's go through them again and see how Ahlul Bayt do that. Deviation from the leadership. If you see that there is new leadership made up, Islam has been hijacked by someone and someone claims to be a leader, see where is Ahlul Bayt. If you see Ahlul Bayt anywhere, then go into that group. That's why Rasulullah said that if you see the whole ummah of Islam going one direction and Ali ibn Abi Talib going the other direction, go with Ali ibn Abi Talib. Don't care about the rest of the ummah. Why? Because that is Allah's plan. They are not Allah's plan. They are not Allah's plan. Ali is Allah's plan. That is Hadith Kisa. Formation of new ideas that cause confusion, then just go to Ahlul Bayt and they will tell you what true Islam is and what Allah's message is. Everyone else is going to assume, guess, conjecture, anything else. They cannot have certainty. Only Ahlul Bayt have certainty. So as long as you're with them, you can be confident as to what you're doing is what Allah has asked you to do. Rumors and speculation that poison the environment, then just stick to Ahlul Bayt. Stick to Ahlul Bayt, see what they say, and if you see that they haven't said it, don't believe it. It doesn't matter. It cannot be true. It's not even important. It's not relevant. If they didn't say it, it's not relevant then. Because they are the standard. Power struggle, they are the wali. Anyone else struggling for power, you know that they cannot be there. It's only these 5. So if you see the wife of the Prophet against someone from inside this mantle, then you know where to stand. This is just Allah showing everyone how He is protecting Islam from deviation and harm and injury. And everything else like that. And forgetting the founders is one way of destroying a movement. That's it. As long as you keep them in your mind, then you know what? It will happen. And Allah, for that reason, created a Karbala that you just cannot forget. It's just too grand to forget. And that's why Rasulullah said, with the Shahadat of Hussein, there will be a wave that will rise that will not finish until the day of judgment. In this wave, we are riding this wave all the way to Ahlul Bayt. My friends, Rasulullah did not just end there, but he also pointed out to those people that were there after Hadith Kisa happened and after this ayat came down. Every day it is said after that, every morning after that, Rasulullah will read this dhikr every morning. He would go to the door of Fatima and he would put his hands on the door and said, Assalamu alaikum ya Ahl Bayt al-Nabuwa, as-salat, as-salat. قال الله إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. Every morning he would announce it and everyone would listen to it until he died. Just to drive in the point that this is the future, this is the protection of Islam, and this is where you all need to gather in if you want to protect yourself. So my friends, Hadith Kisa, the meaning of Hadith Kisa was this. For all the other reasons we read it, we keep it alive so that we know that this is where we need to stick to and adhere to in order to protect ourselves and also the protection of Islam is through them. So I am going to stop over here. Anyone who has questions in regards to this, I will answer the questions. Poem I will read, which is in relationship to this, what that means to even Sunnis. What that means to Sunnis also. A famous poem of Imam Shafi'i. Shafi'i, as you know, is one of the Imams of the Sunnis, of the four madhahib of the Sunnis. One of the madhab is Shafi'i. And the leader of that movement, the leader of that madhab, Shafi'i, wrote this regarding Ahlul Bayt and the importance of Ahlul Bayt in Islam. He says, Ya ala bayt Rasulillahi hubbukumu. O family of the Prophet, your love, faradum min Allahi fil Qur'an anzala, is a faraz, it is a obligation in that Allah has made, an obligation in the Quran that has been revealed. Yakfikum min adim al-fakhr annakum, that it is enough of an honor for you, just this fact is enough of an honor for you. Man lam yusalli alaykum la salata la. Anyone who doesn't send salawat on you, his prayer is invalid. It will not be counted. He hasn't prayed. In other words, with the dhikr of Tawheed and Nabuwat, when you say Shahadatain, Tawheed and Nabuwat, you have to say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Your salawat has to go there. And if someone does not mention that, then their prayer is invalid. It's not even counted. So I will stop it here, and inshallah, we'll open the room for questions.
We have one question. I've pasted in the chat.
Oh yeah. It said that it is so blessing to have you. Okay, my question is about Yom al-Quds for this year. With COVID-19 being around, how can we perform the rally on this day to support the Palestinians in the Holy Land? Well, I am here in Dallas, and I'm going to go out anyway to do the Yom al-Quds. You know, anyone wants to join me, they're welcome to do that. So, because it's an obligation on us, and I'm going to go there. Anyone wants to come, we just need to do what's required of us. That is to maintain social distance, and that's about it. So I guess, you know, I mean, if others want to come, you know, we can organize it together.
Those were all the questions we have.
All right, very good. So inshallah, you know, thank you so much, and please recite. I ask Allah that gives us tawfiq and the blessing in this month to take advantage of this month. And even though this month has been unique for everyone, the first time we are doing Ramadan this way, but we ask Allah that our amal and whatever we are unable to do, that you accept our niyat for serving the iftar, for all the things that we had intended to do throughout the year, that we aren't able to do because of the situation. Allah reward us for that intention that we had made.
Thank you very much, Maulana Muhammad Baig, for your time. And inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow at the same time.
All right, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Nafis.